Auvergne region is almost like Switzerland, and all of them work in Michelin. They're mainly stereotyped as being cheap and stingy. Now about the cities. Clermont-Ferrand has a chaotic weather. You wear a t-shirt one day and then it snows the next day. So, volcanic weather basically. The city also has an intimidating cathedral which looks like it's been made by Sauron in Mordor. They love their cheese and say if there is no cheese course, it's not a meal. Sundays there are dead though, like post-apocalypse levels of dead. Lyon is where they think their food is the best in the world, and they're probably right. They have a superiority complex toward other regions of France and are bad drivers. It's like Paris, but smaller, cleaner, safer, with better food. So they're the true food capital of France. And also, it's where the chefs are created. It takes forever for the locals to trust you, but once you get to know them, they're very loyal and lovely. Fun fact, Lyon is the city in the background of the Lo-Fi Homework Girl on YouTube. Saint-Étienne is an old industrial and mining city, and it feels like an even poorer Detroit. It has lots of dirty high-rises from the 70s. They're very proud of their city and have a big football fan base. People in Grenoble are all leftist hipsters who are obsessed with hiking, climbing, and skiing. That's why it feels like Decathlon is the main supplier of clothes there. And I think they were the ones who invented the French tacos. Am I right or wrong? The city of Annecy is called the Venice of the Alps. It's so beautiful that it's just ridiculous. It's close to Geneva, and the housing market is almost as insane. Yeah, and the prices make you think you're paying Swiss taxes. This region has good cheese and wine, and there ain't much to do except to drink. Dijon, the capital, is filled with prideful mustard lovers and wine nerds who drink high-end wines and don't do anything else. If you go there, definitely buy some mustard, rob the owl, and then get out. Also, the city of Bonnet is the wine capital of Burgundy. People from Besançon or Buzac get really worked up if you confuse them with Burgundians, and the city has a nice family vibe to it. Brittany or Brittany is one of the 7 Celtic nations, and if you go there, it seems as if you've left France and somehow been transported into Wales or Scotland. So yeah, they're not French, they're Britons. I would describe them as jolly alcoholics who are either fishermen or sailors and have a big rivalry with Normandy. They also have their own language, but the younger generation doesn't speak it. And whatever you do, never ask them about Mont Saint-Michel. They believe Normans stole it from them. About the food, they're all for oysters, sea snails, quignon, and galette, and wash these down with their fine cider. It's also the birthplace of 1. Crêpe. They can argue about the difference between a crêpe and a galette for hours and serve it with every meal. And 2. Asterix and Obelix. The city of Rennes is filled to the brim with drunk students who love to party till the midnight and leftists who love eating galette saucisses. If you like wind, rain, cold weather and industrial cities, you will love living in Brest. So, it's not the sexiest city. This region is all about forests, mushrooms and hunting. And if you're lucky, maybe you could spot 1 or 2 inhabitants. The city of Orléans has been under the protection of Joan of Arc since 1429, but it's very beautiful. Gosh, I got tired of saying beautiful for every damn city in France. Such a beautiful country. Damn it! They have some of the best vinegar around the world and are weirdly proud of it, and the city is quite overlooked. People from Tours claim the best French is spoken or the purest French, and is surrounded by castles. If you're liking the video so far, please subscribe. This region is a beautiful mix of Italian and French culture. Although they hate the French and don't consider themselves French at all, and are extremely proud and would love to have independence. They're also very protective of their island and are nuts for chestnuts. I mean, they have chestnut cake, chestnut ice cream, chestnut beer, etc. Corsicans are known to be bad drivers and have terrible roads and park wherever the car fits. The city of Ajaccio is where Napoleon was born, and compared to the other towns, it's more Frenchified, and they have a rivalry with people from Bastia. Grandes is made up of 3 regions: Alsace, Champagne-Ardenne, and Lorraine. Because people from Lorraine have been handed back and forth between France and Germany, they don't know which side they belong to, so they just eat their miserable plums and go through their days. City of Metz is small, affordable, and charming, and everyone just drives past it to get to Luxembourg. People from Nancy are posh and eat only 2 things, quiche and mirabelle jam, and wash it down with some beer, and no, that doesn't make them German. Strasbourg gives out strong German vibes. I'm serious. They're all punctual and love their beer as much as they love their wine. And they speak in a dialect that no one understands. Everyone there is either an EU worker or a student. And the city is super lively because of the students, festivals and markets. The Christmas market in particular is pretty awesome. They also love choucroute and have a ridiculous amount of bakeries. People in Grasse are popping champagnes every day to celebrate nothing, only to get drunk. After all, Grasse is in Champagny-Ardenne region. Okay, look at this picture. Grasse trams rail. How beautiful is this? In Hauts-de-France, the food is Belgian with more cheese, the weather is British, and the language is French. The region is poor and is very similar to Belgium because it used to belong to the Flanders. They drink a lot, love fries, and eat it with mayo. For more info, watch this movie. The city of Lille is like Paris, but friendly. If you go there, you could sit by a pile of used furniture on the street, eat your moule frites, talk with a super chatty unemployed stranger who has alcohol on his breath at 10 a.m. and enjoy the pitch lovely day. Amiens has chill and polite people, lots of canals, and the biggest cathedral in France. And Roubaix is one of the poorest cities in France, if not the poorest. This region has a city that everyone loves to hate, Paris. Everyone outside France, Americans, associate the stereotypes of Paris with all of France, mainly thanks to the propaganda of their media, Hollywood. Okay, before we start, these are just the stereotypes, so chill. So, you know the basic ones. They're a bunch of arrogant baguette-eating, accordion-playing, red wine slurping, cheese-munching, bread and strip shirt-wearing, garlic and onion-loving, chain-smoking, condescending racists who never take a bath and think Paris is the center of the universe, but at the same time hate the city and they will yell at you if you don't speak French and will refuse to speak English even though they can. The reason for most of these stereotypes is because they get millions of tourists every year. And people are tired, stressed, and also because of the big city and how everything moves fast. So if you could say hello to them in French and be polite, you'd be alright, I guess. But I'm not gonna lie, I've heard lots of stories of them being rude and disrespectful. There are just too many of them to ignore. But at the same time, I gotta say, in a lot of cases, they just give back what you give out. I don't think it's all black and white when it comes to Paris, but hey, you tell me in the comments, what's Paris really like? And about the city itself, like every capital city, Paris has some beautiful areas and some areas that just smell like urine. In Boulogne-Billancourt, people are rich and is practically in Paris. About Saint-Denis, and no, not the Red Dead Redemption 2 Saint Denis, I'm not talking about that one. It has a high crime rate and weird buildings like this. And finally, Argenteuil is just like Saint-Denis. Here, this is a glass of rich, flavorful, fat-laden milk from a well-fed Normandy cow. Did you like it? Maybe yes, maybe no. So people from Normandy are indecisive, hence the term Norman's answer. D-Day happened there, so unlike Parisians, they like the Americans. They're stingy, but very polite and are addicted to apple and apple products, such as apple cider, apple brandy, apple tart, and so on. They also have good cheese and butter, and the beautiful Mont Saint-Michel castle is located there. Le Havre has a very Soviet feel to its architecture, is industrial, gloomy, and is considered one of the ugliest cities in France. And no, that's not subjective. Rouen is very medieval looking, people are friendly and are happy to help you out. And Joan of Arc was burned at the stake in this city. Nouvelle-Aquitaine feels very country with lots of people. They have the Basque country, which is expensive, filled with surfer dudes who love rugby, and it feels a lot like Spain. Now about the cities. When I think about Bordeaux, a drunk rugby man pops into my head. It's very walkable, expensive as hell, and it has great red wine. But the city feels like how Paris felt back in the 50s. And you can totally notice some addicts and homeless people in the city. They say the city is unsafe, but just make sure you laugh in French, and you'll be fine. The city of Limoges is all about porcelain and cows, and Poitiers is a calm and green student city. The main stereotype is that Occitanie people want independence and do not consider themselves French. Toulouse is the land of rugby and is called the Pink City, but it's not that pink. People there are laid back, loud, talkative, and chill, and they always arrive 15 minutes late to the appointments. They also have a sing-songy accent and are obsessed with cassoulet and chocolatine. In Montpellier, everywhere you go, you see students or French taco places. They also party very hard. In fact, they're too busy partying to clean the city up. Because they walk a lot, they're mostly fit despite the delicious food. And if they don't want to walk, they just take the tramway or the bus, which is free for residents. And about the weather, it's sunny until the monsoon hits in November, and you have to swim to go around. In Perpignan, 34% of inhabitants are living under poverty line, and it has hellish summers. And finally, people from Nîmes invented the jeans. This region has a weird, cool flag, and you could find some rednecks there, and no one remembers them until their cheese and wine gets mentioned. The city of Nantes is green and close to the sea, and has a cool giant mechanical elephant. The people are polite, and they used to be part of Brittany. In Nantes, there are lots of students, and you have to speak French. English won't get you far. Also, it's getting less secure than before, and it's sketchy at places. People in Angers are nice, chill, and seem pretty happy overall. So lots of happy people in Angers. Le Mans is good for about 24 hours if you like cars a lot, and then nothing special. This region is like France's Florida. It's overcrowded and is where they send their old people off to drift in Mediterranean and die. Marseille is where the criminals are politicians and everyone knows it. You can see effortless graffiti everywhere and it's dirty. I mean, this dirty. Marseille and Paris have a big rivalry for the title of the most hated city in France, and the rest of the country is just counting the points. The drivers there are absolute maniacs. This is a city where cars park on pavements and people walk on roads. Marseille is honestly a bit rough at the edges and even in the middle a bit. Unlike other big cities in France, poor people in Marseille live in the center as well. But to tell the truth, people tend to over-exaggerate the insecurity of this city a bit. Speaking of which, they're famous for exaggerating everything. But stereotypes aside, the weather is heavenly, the natural parks are mesmerizing, and it's very multicultural, and the people are relaxed and easy to make friends with, so it's definitely worth a visit. Finally, you'll either fall in love with the city or absolutely hate it, so it never leaves anyone cold. Tell me in the comments, what do you think about the city? Here's a map of France. Nice people, not Nice people. But the prices aren't that Nice. They're like Italians of France and are very lazy and welcoming people. And it's where all Scandinavians come to escape their bleak winters. In Nice, the water of the sea is surreal. It's like someone dropped blue dye in the ocean. The beaches are rocky though, with no sand. What do you even need the sand for? It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Cannes is all about the red carpet and is very overpriced and is filled with people with fake tans, lots of old people and racist millionaires. In Saint-Tropez, it takes 30 minutes to visit the harbor, drink a €9 coffee and look at the luxury yachts that you'll never afford, and then spend 2 hours in traffic jam just to get out. Aix-en-Provence is filled with students, it feels like a big village and is very safe. Guadeloupe looks like the island in Lost TV show. Speaking of TV shows, Death in Paradise was filmed there, and a lot of people know the island because of the show. The crime rate though is low, so the show was lying. Surprisingly, everything is relatively cheap there, at least compared to Paris, and the people are relaxed and friendly. I mean, why not? Look at what they wake up to every morning. Martinique is beautiful, poor, and expensive, and people go on strikes very often, but they are nice and welcoming, and the island has a temperature of 30 Celsius most of the year. So you could chill in its beautiful beaches and drink lots of rum. After having been used as a prison colony for many years, it is now a space launch station. So it's basically like French Australia. There are many Haitians there, it's hot, and it's relatively safe. And they also have a portion of Amazon rainforests. La Réunion is where you can enjoy the lush jungles, see the very active volcano, and go hiking and diving with a friendly local with an African, Chinese, or Indian descent or a mix. And just pray that you won't get eaten by sharks. And if you stay alive, you can go surfing too. But make sure you get a car, because without it, you won't get anywhere on the island. It's very rich and safe, compared to the surrounding islands of course. You can pay a visit to Mayotte Island if you want to get attacked by gangs, see the chaos and numerous revolts up close while being dehydrated as hell, cause they don't have much drinking water.